49er versus Panthers pregame show right now on the 49er News 24 Central show. I'm going to be breaking down both games and how the San Francisco 49ers could win this game. Let's get into the key players for the Carolina Panthers. The first key players for the Panthers is Rico Dowling. Rico Dowling is going to be key player number one. The Panthers are a run-first team, so if this game is close, expect Rico Dowling or Chuba Hubbard to get the ball a lot, but so far it's been Rico Dowling. He has been dealing with an injury, but he seems to be healthy enough to be the team's running back one. So Rico Dowling is my first key player for the Panthers. Staying on the offensive side for the second key player is Ted McMillan. Ted McMillan is a young target for Bryce Young. It is Bryce Young's favorite target to throw to, as this is a very young wide receiver group in Carolina. They have all three young wide receivers with Ted McMillan, Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, Jimmy Horn Jr. They have Hunter Renfrow, who does not see the field a lot, but he is the only vet in that wide receiver room, and David Moore is also another vet. But other than that, a very young wide receiver room. Key player number two is Mike Jackson. Mike Jackson has been having a heck of a few past weeks after getting cooked by Jalen Waddle and George Pickens. Mike Jackson has picked it up very, very recently, and he is tied for fifth in the NFL with most pass deflections. He is actually number 4 in the NFL with most pass deflections at 11. So Mike Jackson is my key player number 3 for the Carolina Panthers. Very underrated player who is average in coverage, but he does have 11 pass deflections. But in my opinion, when I turn on the tape, Mike Jackson is average in coverage. When I evaluated him in this offseason, the past offseason, he was very average in coverage. But so far this season, other than Jalen Waddle and George Pickens, he has been standing on business. So those are the 3 key players for the Carolina Panthers. Now the key players for the 49ers. The number 1 key player for the 49ers is Christian McCaffrey. Everyone knows this is a Christian McCaffrey revenge game. I expect Christian McCaffrey to have a very, very good game versus his former team. I expect him to have over 70 rushing yards and a touchdown in this game. That is key player number 1. Key player number 2 is George Kittle. George Kittle I see balling out versus the Panthers. Also, I don't think the Panthers linebacker room is that good. When I evaluated them this offseason, I do not think they are that good. Last key player for the 49ers is D. Winters. Like I said, Rico Dowling, this team is a run-first team, so Rico Dowling and Chuba Hubbard is the very 2 key players to watch out on the Panthers offense. So the 49er whole linebacker room really needs to be locked in on tackling and making tackles. So that is my last key player, is D. Winter. The keys to winning for the 49ers is to blitz more often than usual. The Panthers struggle of picking up the blitz. Bryce Young has been pressured at the 4th highest rate in the NFL at 52.5%, and he has the 3rd lowest passer ratings versus the blitz at 68.0. So Bryce Young struggles when he faces blitz. I expect Robert Saleh to bring a lot of blitz on Monday versus the Panthers. Key number 2 to win is to stop the run. The Panthers are a run-first offense. Like I said earlier, Rico Dowling is a player who they will try to get going early, and if this game is close, expect Rico Dowling to get a lot of carries late in the game. If I have to pick a weakness on this 49er defense, since Nick Bosa and Fred Warner has gotten injured, I would say it is the run defense. Even though the Niners did not allow a lot of rushing yards last week, that is because the Niners were leading all game. But if this game stays close, expect Rico Dowling to have a lot of rushing yards in this game. The last key to win is to run the ball. Get the ball into Christian McCaffrey's hands. This is a revenge game for Christian McCaffrey. I expect Christian McCaffrey to go absolutely crazy on his former team. I expect 70-plus yards from Christian McCaffrey. Also, Rico Dowling, I expect Rico Dowling to have over 76.5 rushing yards versus the 49ers, and his longest rush to go over 14.5 yards. The Panthers rush defense in this last 3 weeks, they have a lot of rushing yards to a lot of running backs. Once Bijan Robinson had 104 rushing yards with 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara had 83 rushing yards. He had not been doing good this season, and he had a good game versus this Panthers rush defense. And then Josh Jacobs had 87 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. So the Panthers rush defense has been a weakness this past 3 weeks, even though it is ranked right in the middle of the pack at 17. They have allowed 113.1 rushing yards so far this season. I expect Christian McCaffrey to have a great game. Like I said, their passing yards allowed so far this season is at 212.8. I like J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn is a very underrated top 5 cornerback in the NFL. And then Mike Jackson, who I already talked about, he is very average in coverage, but has been going very, very well this season for Mike Jackson. They have a very good red zone defense, right in the top 10, just allowing 52%, but the red zone offense is just scoring on 54% of the time. That ranks 20 in the NFL. Like I said earlier, I expect Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle to both have good games. I think George Kittle will get over 57.5 receiving yards. I think it's just a very weak linebacker room that Carolina has. As your 49er versus Panthers pregame show. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe, like the video, and stay tuned for more 49er content.